So good morning class. I am Barbie Olaes, a second year student with the course of Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in General Science. So today, we're going to discuss about the climate change. So this is to be discussed together with the grade 9 students. So without any further ado, let's start. But before I will formally present to you our class discussion this morning, I will read to you first our objectives. So at the end of the lesson, you are expected to describe climate change, cite ways on how to reduce the impact of climate change, and recognize the impact of climate change to the present status of the environment. So for your first activity, so this is what we call as jumbled letters. So for the instruction, you are going to arrange the letter correctly and guess what is the correct word in the box. Then after that, you have to give a short description of it. So am I clear? Alright, so for the number 1, so what do you think is the word inside the box? Yes, it is climate change. So what is climate change? Yes, so climate change refers to a long-term shift in temperatures and weather patterns. So how about the number 2? Alright, it is a global warming. So what is the meaning of global warming? So it is the long-term warming of the planet's overall temperature. So class, do you want another activity? Okay, that's good. So for your second activity, so I will show you a short clip. So after that, I will throw you out a follow-up questions and you have to answer them based on your understanding. Okay. So for the question number 1, so what is the clip all about? Okay, so it shows a tire being born, deforestation, improper waste disposal, and factories. So for the second question, what would be the effect if we keep burning tar, improper waste disposal, and deforestation? Okay, so depending on the length of and degree of exposure, so these health effects could include irritation of the skin, eyes, nervous system, and of course, air will be polluted. And for the last question, so what might happen if we continue doing human activities that can cause to our environment? Okay, so changes like this will trigger climate change. Soil erosion, poor air quality, and undrinkable water. So class, based on the activity that we had a while ago, so what is climate change? Okay. So climate change is a massive change in average weather conditions spanning several decades or more. It's the longer-term trend that differentiates climate change from natural weather variability. Those floods, storms, heat, and global warming are all caused by the climate change. So here are the evidence for rapid climate change is compelling. We have first the global temperature rise. So the Earth temperature has risen by 0.14 degree Fahrenheit or equivalent with the 0.8 degrees Celsius. So per decade since 1880. And the rate of warming over the past 40 years is more than twice that 0.32 Fahrenheit or 0.18 degrees Celsius per decade since 1981. 2020 was the second warmest year on the record based on the NOAA's temperature data, and land areas were record warm. So the second evidence is warming oceans. Currently, warming ocean water is rising global sea level due to water expansion. So the rising sea affects natural ecosystem and human constructions near coastlines worldwide. For the third evidence, we have the shrinking ice sheets. So ice shelves can collapse dramatically. This can occur over just a few weeks, so following progressive thinning by warm ocean waters below and from excessive melting during a warm summer above. Next, we have the glacial retreat. A glacier retreats when its terminus no longer extends down valley. So glaciers recede as their ice melts faster than snowfall can replenish it. Then we also have extreme events. Since 1950, the number of high temperature records has increased while the number of low temperature records has decreased. Intensity rainfall events are growing in the US. So lastly, we have ocean acidification. Ocean acidification is the process of lowering the pH of the oceans due to atmospheric carbon dioxide absorption. Using fossil fuels is the main cause of ocean acidification. Another effect of climate change on ocean is acidity. So what can be done? Okay, first, we must admit that climate change is everyone's problem. No agency, government, or scientist can fix it for us. We are all in this together, so we got here because of our lifestyle. So our lifestyle has to change. So first, we have to conserve water. Second, conserve electricity. And lastly, we have to reduce our waste. So now, let's have our activity. So this is a group activity. So for your instruction, within your group, you discuss about your learnings in climate change and then give at least 5 ways on how to minimize the effect of climate change. So I will give you 5 minutes to do the task. So timer starts now. Now let's have our evaluation. So for the instruction, to test your understanding, I will be sending a link for your quiz. So you have to read the following items carefully and choose the correct answer. So you will be given 1 minute to do the task. Okay, so now for your assignment, you are going to create a technique video that shows ways on minimizing the environmental impact and reduce the risk of climate change. Your output will be graded based on your rubric below. So submit your output on your group chat. Rubrics, we have the content with 25%, creativity with 15%, and originality we have 10%. So that's all for this morning. Thank you and goodbye.